What's up, traders, and welcome to my stream. Today is Wednesday, and I got a really nice presentation for you guys, trading for beginners. This is some of my basic rules, basic criteria, and a couple of setups that I have that I made a lot of money on the past couple of weeks. So in this situation, you can see I have about a 25-page slide, some of the basic information that you need to know if you're deciding whether or not you want to start trading small caps. So let's get right into it. How everything started for educational purposes only, as usual. So we're gonna start out with trading for beginners. Right here, we're gonna put the trading is risky a little bit to the right here. So basically, what exactly do I trade? A lot of traders are a little bit confused, like what kind of tickers I like to trade, and what I this is kind of like my criteria every single day. I like to trade small cap stocks. So a lot of people don't understand what that means. It means stocks underneath around $10, sometimes under 10 cents, but not only if they're liquid. I don't really like going above $10. I mostly like around $10 or some my ideal area will probably be like 10 cents to like I don't know $5 that or $2 or $3. Anyway, so the float, I like trading floats underneath 30 million. As you can see over here using trade ideas, you can see right here, you can see the float section. So each and every day I look at the float section. You can see dark blue is something over 50 million. And pretty much light green and ultra light green are small floats, and dark green are actually larger floats over 10 million. So what I like to do is I like to look at the way you can actually buy my settings for trade ideas available for purchase. What I like to do here is I like to look at the light green and a little bit darker green. But if I get too dark, it's not good. I try to avoid the blue. When I see dark blue, that means a really dark sky. So I try to avoid that. That's kind of like how I read the market. And you can see the volume here over here. The things that are in red, that means they're generating a lot of volume. And the short float is around 125%. So there's a lot of the float is actually short. You can see insiders. I like to pretty much have low institutions and low insiders. You can see ATCH actually had 33% institutions, 16% insiders, and you can see this is the stock that I actually made today, about $123,000 in profits, which I'm going to make a video after this. So what I like, this is the pre-market gap list. I like stocks that have range. So primarily you need to focus on light, dark green color of the float. So I try to avoid the dark blue, and I like to try to get the lightest of the green. And usually I like to look at this area here, like the top 10. Moving on to the next slide. So this is a very important slide. A lot of traders show up on different days of the week, and they don't really understand like how I like to work most days. As you can see, so here this is 6:45 to 9 a.m. On a Monday. I do not like to trade here. On Tuesday, I like to wake up between 6:45 and 9, and I like to buy low floats or stocks that have low price stocks. I also like to do the same Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, things change between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., I like to be bullish mostly and try to buy stocks that hold VWAP. On Tuesday, I try to short, especially if there's, Tuesday. A lot of these tickers have problems breaking pre-market highs. So I like to primarily be bearish. You can see, so Wednesday, I like to be bullish. Thursday, I like to be either be bullish or both. And Friday is actually a pretty short day. So I like to mostly be bearish, to tell you the truth, maybe just short. But if it's the only ticker, I like to switch Some is right here. Over here, you can see that I never like to short on the first day of the week because that's the strongest of the day and that's where you get most amount of volume. So I try not to short at all, and I like to look for a midday runner on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't really like buying midday runners on Friday because there's not a lot of runners most of the time. So this is kind of like, this is a general outline. This is my preferred bias. This is not like written in stone. Like this is like an outline, like 70% of the days. Like sometimes, sometimes it can switch on you. You can have 6:45 to 9 a.m. movers. Moving on to my checklist. Did I sleep well, eat well, hydrate well? Primarily, I like to use a wristband called Whoop over here, and I like it to tell me whether I'm good to trade or not. Primarily, what I like doing is on days my recovery score is under 40%. You can see there's a score that comes on my app. When my recovery is at 40% or my sleep is under 40%, I try not to trade at all or have a C size on all trades. That means, A size is 30K, B size 10K, C size is 3K. Sleep is very important to me because most of my big losses happen when I'm actually lacking sleep. So I've been tracking my sleep continuously. These are my top rules that I follow when I trade stocks. So number one rule in trading, I like to, cut losses quickly. That's probably the number one most important rule. Number two, you need to have a max loss per ticker, and you need to have a max loss per ticker. Like say if you're starting out, could be $50, $100, $200, or $10. You need to have that max loss per ticker. Number three rule, max loss per day. Sometimes a lot of traders are confused. Should I trade after 11? Should I not trade? Whatever. Usually when your maximum stock per day hits, you need to turn it off and not trade during these times. Um, if your max loss hits, it could be 400 or it could be 200 depending on your account size. Number four rule, do not trade a ticker more than two times if you lose it. A lot of traders come in the market and say, I lost on a ticker 7 times. And that's not really how you should do it. You should limit your losses to 2 times per ticker and just move on. Number five rule, do not trade after 11 a.m. unless you're going long. Like a lot of times there's no midday runner, so you might want to just take off after 11 a.m. because it's just nothing going on. Sometimes there are runners, sometimes they're not. I do not recommend trading before 6 a.m. To avoid burnout because it's very difficult to wake up at 4 a.m. and trade till, I don't know, to trade all day long. Do not add to your loser. A lot of traders do this. And also add to your winner only when it goes up after you buy it or down if you short it and you're confident with your position. So add to your winner. That's very basic. So you buy it, it does exactly what you want to do. You just add to your winner and you average down, average up. And same thing with shorting. Avoid floats over 30 million. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to trade floats under 1 million or under 10 million. The lower, the better. These are my top 9 rules that I follow. So now we're going to go through a couple of strategies that I have for some of the tickers that I've traded the past week. This is the strategies of the pre-market low flow runner at 645. At 645, there's a lot of activity. You can see so here GLTO was part of the top 5 or top 6 pre-market gappers. You can see there were a couple of them over here. There was a 18 milli float in the morning at 7 a.m. But GLTO had a 5 milli volume, 1 milli float, and it was up like 80%. So GLTO as 7 a.m. bell rang, actually started moving at 6:45, and then I started buying it over here at around as it made a new high 450. And in this candle here, I made around a $1 gain, and then I pretty much bought it multiple times along the way. Sadly, I didn't buy it perfectly, but the ticker from 450, it hit $7 in just a very short amount of time. And this, as you can see, this chart is a clean chart, because on the left hand side we have the daily, we have daily breakout of 410, and then resistance 730. So we actually went up to 699, pretty close to that resistance of 730, because that would have been an area of short. I've seen a lot of traders in the chat room trying to short at 620, and actually they were pretty tight on their stop. And that short worked out perfectly, because we tanked 380. So it was not only money to be made on the front side, but as we hit the daily resistance over here of 730, we can try to get some shorts in, and then pretty much make money on the backside. That's a very nice ticker. It's a daily breakout of 410, and I don't think this ticker did have news. I don't think the ticker did have news at all. It was just a hot ticker with volume that was a low flow that had range, and we pushed. We actually came back down. We held VWAP. Right here, we made a higher high over 530. This is your other, either you buy it, the dip at VWAP, or you buy it when it has a higher high of 530 over here, and then it goes higher, and then actually if you draw a wedge right here, that would be nice entry. As you draw a wedge back here, that would be a nice entry, and soon enough it hits $7 from 450. The next ticker you have is Tuesday midday runner. This is a ticker that I made 25K on actually recently. And this ticker was a very basic. This is a very basic strategy. As you can see, DVLT is a clean chart. I mean, we broke this daily breakout of 52, and we had a bigger volume than usual. And then, after it breaks 52, you can see the daily here. The next resistance would be 80. You can see the daily breakout and the daily breakout. So once I saw that we broke 52 or 52.80, you can see this area here. I looked at the date and I was like, okay, the next resistance is at 80. So this is the only ticker that's holding VWAP. That is the most important thing. So my entry was around 56 and my stop was like 54. And we actually pushed all the way up to 80, and then I sold it at 75. So I was able to make, in this situation here, probably around a 35% gain overall on this ticker just alone. And what got me to make 123K on the next day is the thing that is that 50-cent stocks are running. So what happened here in the next day, you will see. This is another ticker. This is the strategy called first green day bounce pattern with news, and this ticker did have news. I think that you could see that they 5 million. They had 5 million in financing. So yesterday, the way I made 123,765 this day is that pretty much the day before there was a ticker that was 50 cents that ran to 80, and I made a bank in the middle of the day. So soon enough, the market is like, brothers and sisters. You have brothers and sisters. So soon enough, another 50 cents. So right now you're in a low price stock under 50 cents. So yesterday, a 50-cent stock, I made 25K or so. Next thing you know, I wake up the next day and I'm looking at this ATCH that reminds me of a first green day bounce. See, we haven't bounced since 170. And soon enough, it breaks yesterday's high of 52. I go long at 52 with A++ size. I think I told the chat that I was going with A++ size at 52. And soon enough, this ticker went all the way up to 74, and I sold. Like, usually the first green day bounce gives me an average of around 28% or higher. This is a first green day bounce with news that also had, also was in the price range where tickers under this price range are hot. So ATCH broke yesterday. I have 52, had news. I loaded around 52. I sold at 68.5, made 32% profit in about an hour. It fit my criteria for Green Day bounce. Green Day bounce. I think I have a video on my YouTube channel. If you go over here, you can go to my videos. You can see one of my first. You can see so that I have 153 views on my favorite setup. First Green Day bounce there, and if you like to review that one, you can do so. But ATCH, you can see that, it's a 15 million float, and today we were pulling around 363 million in volume. The short float was 127, and institutions were 33%. So this was a huge gain actually for me today. So moving on to the next one, strategy pre-market breakout, third time a charm. This is Yas. So, when you wake up in the pre-market, third time a charm is usually the way it goes. You wake up around, 6:45 to 7. You still see a stock walking up. You see the resistance in the aftermarket 135. You can see the resistance at 4 a.m. 135. And soon enough, third time a charm, actually fourth time a charm to break 135. You go long. I did around 13.7, and then I locked it up at around 16. Probably this was an over 20% profit. If I had to calculate what was the profit on here, it was more than a 20% profit. It was 24 cents. So it was like, I don't know, 15 cents profit, something like that. 26 cents, around 20 cents. So it's important to show up between 9 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. And pretty much, it's third time a charm pattern. So and you're gonna see this pattern multiple times. Let's see if we can move my face somewhere over here. Moving on to another strategy. This is shorting, gappers over 150% under VWAP, using VWAP as a short area. So you can see this was a pretty nice gapper of SHFS. SHFS ran from like 3 to 15. A lot of traders were actually very confused about this ticker. They were kept asking me like, should I buy it as it reclaims VWAP? And I looked at it multiple times. I'm like, no, this is a short into VWAP because it's gapping up more than 100%. And most of the day, after we made the move from 3 to 15, we rejected VWAP. You can see this is a short area. This is a short area. This is a short area. So this strategy is pretty much the strategy here is shorting a ticker that gaps up more than 150% under VWAP, that stays under VWAP most of the time, and then using VWAP as the area to short. And soon enough, we pretty much every time we hit this circle here, it pretty much went straight back down. So ideally, the flow's got to be underneath 10 million. Stock may not have news. In this case, it was yesterday's news. Short into VWAP and cover into the wash. Most of the time, these tickers are gap up shorts. That means all you do is pretty much just short into VWAP and pretty much hold it all day. This is a nice short example. Obviously, I have a lot more short example. This is a nice example. I made 36.90 on it. Another example is Monday big runner after 10 a.m. So the only stock on the first day of the week over VWAP. So NAOV was the only stock you can see here. I looked at the top gainers over here, and NAOV was number 3, and it was a low float underneath 1 million. It was the only ticker under VWAP that reclaimed VWAP and held. So I ended up just buying it at like 12.5, and then I sold it at like 16.5. You can see we pushed, we held VWAP, we reclaimed VWAP, we held VWAP, we pushed again. So normally, if it was if it was any other day of the week, it would probably have rejected this high here from 12 to like 14, but from 12 to 14, that's not really enough. So I actually held on to it just because it was Monday. Like I say, try not to short the only ticker that holds VWAP on Monday, because it was the only ticker. Try not to short the first day of the week because that's usually the strongest. Moving on to the strategy, another strategy, pre-market low floater runner. AGMH, I kept buying it as it went higher. I started around 7 a.m., around 5:40, and then exited 6. So multiple times, you can see, so here at around 6:45, this stock was developing a wedge pattern. I started going long at 5:40, and then I exited at like close to 6. I bought it again at 620, enter exit at 680. But you can see from here, I didn't really have to do much because from 530 we just spiked up to 750, and next thing you know, this thing hit about a high of, I think, something outrageous, something around 17 that day. But every time I was buying it, it kept going higher, so my bias was correct. You can see AGMH was number one from the top gainer with the float around 1.7 million, 170, not 2 million in volume, insider 52%. So it was very heavily insider stock, but the flow was rotating on the way up and ended up managed to profit on the way up. The next ticker is another one, strategy pre-market VWAP reclaim hold. As you can see, so here, this was CWD. We popped up from like 6 to like 12, came back to 8, and then we hit VWAP. We came back, we hit VWAP, and we slammed right through it. And this is where I got interested because we pushed over VWAP, and this is an area to hold because now we have to test the pre-market highs over here at 11. So my entry was around 920 to risk around 940 to risk around 920. You can see how very nice exactly we held VWAP this time. And soon enough, I sold it into like the 11s, made a 5K profit in it. So I'm using VWAP in a lot of my trades. And soon enough, sadly, this thing rolled over and VWAP became a short area. Like I say, many of my 150% gappers or more, if they start out the day under VWAP, it's very rare that these ticker will reclaim VWAP and keep going unless it's the first day of the week. Starting another one, strategy low float VWAP recam and holds trend at open. You can see Turb is another ticker that I made 31K on. The ticker pushed and usually it gives you around 7 minutes on the front side. Had huge news of positive patent news. I bought it in the second minute, I believe. I should have bought it at 550, but I ended up chasing it at 6, sold it at 720. I bought it again at like 650, sold it at like 8, I think. And then soon enough, the ticker actually formed this wedge pattern right here. I buy it again at 6, sell it at 7, and then you can see the trend. Even though the stock was underneath VWAP, the stock held this trend line that I drew over here, and I bought it again at like 660, sold 7, bought it again at 8, and sold at 950. I ended up profiting on Turb 31K, and then the ticker hit $20, so I missed even more money off the table. So I'm very excited when we get these ticker running. You can see so here on the left hand side, if you're using my pre-market gap scanner or pre-market new high of the day scanner, Turb was over here number one on the list of 400%, 1 million float, 101 million in volume. Insiders are 96%, relative volume 4406. So this is a very nice example of a ticker that went straight to the moon, that reclaimed VWAP, formed a nice trend, and it was a low float. So how to get started in trading? There's actually 2 memberships for you guys. One of them, it's actually your monthly. You get only chat access. Like, I have 2 different types of memberships. One is the monthly, one of them is monthly me live streaming. So if you like to just read what's going on in the chat room and read like what I'm buying, what I'm selling, what other traders are buying and selling, you can access chat only member access for about each month for 97 bucks. If you like to also see me trade live and talk on my microphone each and every day, will be $50 more per month. That includes also my live trade idea scanner and my live stream daily chat delivery. So first off, when you sign up, it's very important to go through the rules. This is a 6.5-hour course. 6.5-hour course is probably you need to go through it, and you need to read it, and you need to pretty much print out every single rule of the flashcards and pretty much try to remember them and go into detail and apply the rules. Not only buy the membership, read the rules, and then tell me, hey, I trade a stock 7 times and then I blew up my account because I did not respect my max loss per day, or my max loss per day was too high. So, try to apply these rules, not only just that not only just read them. Moving on to over here, more strategy. You can see so here that once you sign up, there's also more strategy that I have for you guys. Criteria, you can see if you go to click membership content, start here. You can see that I have my criteria for buying. ABCD pattern, pre-market, VY reclaim, 52-week breakouts, day 2 continuation, opening range breakout, first green day bounce, wedge breakout, trend line breakout, shorting resistance, day 2 short, textbook daily, trending a cold market, zombies, and pretty much I have another probably around 15 other setups. Gap and go, as you can see, so here I have examples and videos of all these setups on top of the videos that are already on YouTube. So make sure you get familiar with it. Anyway, so practice first in the simulator. Only after you're profitable in the simulator, you should really use real money. This is probably the number one rule I have for you guys. Like these tickers are very volatile, and you need to practice first in a simulator before you do with real money. You should never risk more money than you're willing to lose, because sometimes it can work, sometimes the best setup just doesn't work. You need to invest in your education first, and be around like-minded traders. There's a reason why, if you look at my subscription page on my website over here, you can see I have different membership plans coming with 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 12 month. I don't believe there's any millionaire in the world that was profitable in his first year. So only profitable after first year. There's a reason I put cash on my 12 month, and I didn't put any cash on your 6 month, 3 month, and 1 month. There's a reason why I put cash here, because on average it will take you about at least a year to learn all my strategies and be comfortable with it. Not to mention, you do need to have the scanners. You need to have these scanners running at all time, because you need to know what's moving at all times. Because if you don't know what's moving, you're just gonna be relying on other people's opinion. And these are my settings for my trade idea scanners that I use in the pre-market, midday, aftermarket. You can get a really good bundle for them. Other than that, that is it for me. Make sure you invest in your education first, and join a chat room and a community with like-minded trader. Start out with small size, and also always follow the rules that I have outlined above. Also track your data and track your trades. A lot of traders are asking me, like, what am I doing wrong since I have big losses? What you're doing wrong is you're not cutting losers quickly, and you're not betting. I had a conversation with a trader that I saw some of his trades, and he's not cutting his losers quicker, and he's not betting more on his winners. And soon enough, you have a downward spiral in which you don't have positive feedback coming out of your trading experience. So it's important to invest in your education, to track your data, track your losses, point out your losses each and every day, and your winners every day. What are you good at? What are you good at trading? But if you do this, and you'll be more than likely you're gonna be this guy over here, with lots of money right here in lifetime chat live stream and Laura's lifetime mastery. The guy with $200,000-300,000 around him, and while watching me live stream. That is it for me. Make sure you click on the link below. I'll be more than happy to chat with you and hear your opinions, and also hear our opinions. It's been a tremendous green day for me. I think you can see so here that today has been pretty, like, one of my tickers that really worked out today. I pretty much profited probably 132K, 131K, made a 33% win on this first green day bounce today, which is something outrageous. I will go ahead and make another video on this. but there's a lot of opportunity in the market, and if you know what you're doing and you have studied the market, you will know how to profit from it. Other than that, for educational purposes only, and see you all in my next video. Peace out.